Okay, so today I'm going to show you how to identify a mineral by following a few simple tests. So I have 4 minerals here, and the first one I'm going to test is kind of white and pointy, rough. So, can this scratch a fingernail? Yes, it can. So that means it must be harder than a 2.5. So I'm going to move on to a penny. And it can scratch the penny, so it must be harder than a 3. Now I'm going to try a nail. And it can scratch the nail, so it must be harder than a 5. I'm going to see if it can scratch the glass. It can scratch the glass, so it must be harder than a 5.5. And now I'm going to see if it makes a streak on the streak plate. And it does. So this mineral must be a 7, and it is actually quartz. So with a hardness of 7. Next mineral I'm going to test is green and soft, and so can this scratch a fingernail? It cannot scratch the fingernail, so therefore it is less hard than a fingernail. And it is, with a hardness of 2, is gypsum. Next mineral I'm going to test is kind of brown, and it almost has gold on it, sparkly. So can this scratch a fingernail? Yes, it can scratch a fingernail, so therefore it is harder than a 2.5. And I'm going to move on to a penny. This can scratch the penny, so it is harder than a 3. I'm going to move on to a nail. Yes, it can scratch the nail, so it is harder than a 5. And now I'm going to do glass. It can scratch the glass, so it is harder than a 5.5. And now a streak plate. This mineral cannot scratch the streak plate, so therefore it is between 5.5 and a 7. And this mineral is 6 to 6.5, and it is pyrite. This is the last mineral I'm going to test. I'm going to start off seeing if it can scratch a fingernail. This can scratch a fingernail, so therefore it is harder than a 2.5. I'm going to move on to a penny. And it can scratch the penny, so it is harder than a 3. Now a nail. And this can scratch the nail, so it is harder than 5. And now I'm going to move on to glass. It can scratch the glass, so it is harder than a 5.5. And last, a streak plate. This mineral cannot scratch the streak plate, which was a 7, so it's between a 5 and a 7, and it is a 6, and it is feldspar. That is how you test minerals. Again, this is quartz with a hardness of 7. This is pyrite with a hardness of 6 to 6.5. This is gypsum with a hardness of 2, and this is feldspar with a hardness of 6.